Take a breath with me right now and feel the quiet pulse of something ancient moving through you. There is an intelligence beating your heart, circulating your blood, growing your hair, and guiding the rhythm of your breath without your effort. That same intelligence orchestrates galaxies, turns winter into spring, and moves the tides with the whisper of the moon. And it is not separate from you. It is you. The universe did not send you here by accident, and it did not send you to this very moment by coincidence. You are here because something within you has been calling, asking, intending, and now the answer is arriving. You have been wondering if your manifestation is real, if the desire in your heart is heard, if the silent prayers you speak into the darkness are reaching anything beyond the ceiling. I am here to remind you that there is no beyond. The creative force of the universe does not sit outside of you judging your worthiness or measuring your effort. It flows as you. When you intend from your highest self, when you align with love instead of fear, when you release the desperate grasp of the ego and rest in the quiet certainty of your soul, you activate a law that has never failed. What you are in harmony with must come into form. The ego will whisper that you are behind, that others are ahead, that you have missed your chance. The ego thrives on comparison. It survives on scarcity. It measures, calculates, competes. It tells you that manifestation is about forcing, striving, proving. But the soul knows something entirely different. The soul understands that you do not attract what you chase. You attract what you embody. You do not manifest through tension. You manifest through alignment. You do not receive through fear. You receive through trust. Imagine an orange in your hand. When you squeeze it, what comes out? Orange juice, not apple juice, not bitterness, only what was already inside. Life works the same way. When you are squeezed by circumstances, when you are pressed by uncertainty, what flows from you reveals what you have been holding within. If resentment comes out, then resentment was within. If faith comes out, then faith was within. Manifestation is not about asking the universe to give you something you lack. It is about cultivating within yourself the vibration of what you desire so fully that when life squeezes you, abundance pours out. The universe sent you this message because you have been shifting. You may not have noticed it in dramatic fireworks or thunderous revelations. Often the deepest transformations are silent. They happen in the moments when you choose not to react, when you choose forgiveness over resentment, when you choose to believe in possibility even after disappointment, when you choose to say, I am enough, instead of I need to become more. These quiet decisions are not small, they are cosmic. You are not your bank account. You are not your relationship status. You are not your past mistakes or your current struggles. You are a spiritual being having a temporary human experience, and the spirit that animates you is limitless. The ego wants identity. It wants labels. It wants to say, this is who I am and this is what I deserve. But your higher self whispers, I am infinite. I am connected to all that is. I am a creator. And when you speak those words, I am, you are speaking the same language as the universe itself. There is a reason ancient wisdom traditions teach that the words I am are sacred. Whatever follows them begins to shape your reality. If you say I am unlucky, you align with lack. If you say I am struggling, you align with struggle. But when you declare I am abundant, I am guided, I am worthy of miracles, you are not engaging in fantasy. You are tuning your internal instrument to the frequency of creation. The universe responds not to your begging, but to your being. Think of the ocean. On the surface, there are waves crashing, turbulent, unpredictable. That is the realm of the ego, the surface level drama of circumstances. But beneath the waves, deep in the ocean, there is calm, stillness, immensity. That is your true self. When you identify only with the waves, you are tossed by every opinion, every delay, every perceived rejection. But when you sink into the depth of your being, you discover a serenity that cannot be disturbed. Manifestation happens from the depths, not from the surface. Perhaps you have been asking for a sign. Perhaps you have been saying, show me that it's coming. Show me that I'm on the right path. And here you are, listening to words that resonate not because they are new, but because they are familiar. Your soul recognizes truth the way a seed recognizes sunlight. There is a warmth in you right now, a subtle remembering. That is not accidental, that is confirmation. You see, manifestation is not about manipulating external events. It is about dissolving internal resistance. Every time you doubt your worthiness, you create friction. Every time you cling to how and when, you tighten the flow. The universe does not need your instructions. It needs your alignment. It needs you to become so rooted in trust that you no longer question whether what you desire is possible. You simply know the sky does not struggle to hold the clouds. It allows them to pass. In the same way, you must allow doubts to pass without building a home for them. You must allow fear to arise without identifying with it. You are not the passing thoughts. You are the vast awareness in which they appear. When you shift your identity from the voice in your head to the consciousness observing that voice, everything changes. You move from reaction to creation. The ego says, I will believe it when I see it. The soul says, I will see it when I believe it. This is the great reversal. It is not blind optimism, it is spiritual law. When you plant a seed in the soil, you do not dig it up every day to check its progress. You trust the unseen processes beneath the surface. You water it, you nourish it, you allow time. Manifestation works the same way. Your intention is the seed, your faith is the water. Your gratitude is the sunlight, and the unseen intelligence of the universe does the rest. Gratitude is not something you practice after the blessing arrives. It is the magnet that draws the blessing toward you. When you wake up and say thank you for what is already on its way, you send a signal that you expect goodness. Expectation is powerful, not anxious expectation, but serene knowing. A quiet confidence that what you have asked for is already forming in ways you cannot yet see. You may wonder why it has not appeared yet, but consider this. Perhaps what you are becoming is more important than what you are receiving. The delay is not punishment, it is preparation. Holding, the universe is not withholding, it is aligning. It is shaping circumstances, shifting energies, orchestrating connections that your limited perspective cannot yet comprehend. If you could see the entire tapestry, you would not question the thread you are currently holding. There are no accidents. Every encounter, every challenge, every detour is part of the unfolding. Even the disappointments have served you. They have refined your desire. They have clarified what truly matters. They have stripped away illusions and forced you inward, and it is inward that the true treasure lies. The world teaches you to look outward for validation, approval, proof, but your soul invites you to look within for confirmation. Ask yourself gently, who would I be if I truly believed my manifestation was guaranteed? How would I walk? How would I speak? How would I treat myself? Would I rush? Would I compare? Or would I move with grace, knowing that what is mine cannot be taken and what is meant for me cannot miss me? Begin to live as that version of yourself now. Not arrogantly, not desperately, but calmly, authentically. You are not separate from the creative force you are appealing to. You are an individualized expression of it. Just as a wave is not separate from the ocean, you are not separate from the source. When the wave forgets its connection to the ocean, it fears crashing. It fears disappearing. But when it remembers that it is water, it understands that no form can destroy its essence. In the same way, when you remember that you are divine energy in human form, you stop fearing lack. You stop fearing rejection. You stop fearing time. Time is an illusion of the ego. The soul lives in the eternal now. Your manifestation exists in the field of potential right now. It is not traveling toward you from some distant future. It is aligning with your present vibration. The more you anchor yourself in peace, in love, in appreciation, the more you collapse the illusion of distance between you and your desire. Let go of the story that you must struggle to earn good things. Let go of the belief that joy must be justified. The universe is abundant beyond measure. Look at the stars scattered across the night sky, countless and radiant. Does the sky ration them? Does the sun charge a fee for its light? Abundance is the nature of existence. Scarcity is a learned perception, and you have the power to unlearn it. When you release resentment, you free enormous creative energy. When you forgive, you break the chains that tether you to the past. There are no justified resentments because resentment is like drinking poison and expecting someone else to suffer. Forgiveness is not about condoning behavior. It is about reclaiming your power. It is about saying, I refuse to let this memory dictate my vibration. And when your vibration rises, your manifestations accelerate. Do not chase. Do not beg. Do not force. Become. Become the person who feels worthy. Become the person who trusts the process. Become the person who celebrates others' success without comparison. Competition belongs to the ego. Creation belongs to the soul. There is no one to compete with because no one else carries your exact frequency, your exact expression of the divine. You are here on purpose. There is something you are meant to express, to create, to experience. Your desires are not random. They are clues. They are whispers from your higher self, guiding you toward expansion. When you feel a deep longing, it is not there to torment you. It is there to awaken you. It is saying there is more for you. There is more through you. Trust that what you are seeking is also seeking you. Trust that every step you take in alignment, no matter how small, is reshaping your reality. Speak kindly to yourself. Affirm your truth. Say, I am guided. I am supported. I am open to miracles. Not as empty phrases, but as declarations of identity. The universe sent you this message as a mirror, not to give you something new, but to remind you of what you already know. You feel it now, don't you? A subtle shift, a softening, a remembering. That is the confirmation you were asking for. Your manifestation is not a distant dream. It is a reflection of your inner state. And as you continue to choose love over fear, trust over doubt, presence over worry, you will watch your external world rearrange itself in harmony with your internal transformation. Stay patient, stay aligned, stay awake. The seed has been planted, the soil is fertile, the sun is shining, and the intelligence that turns acorns into oak trees is the same intelligence guiding your life. You do not need to control it. You only need to cooperate with it. You are not waiting for your life to begin. It is unfolding now. You are not becoming worthy. You are worthy now. You are not separate from the miracle. You are the miracle. And as you walk forward from this moment, carry this knowing gently but firmly within you. What you have asked for is already aligning. The universe has heard you because the universe is you. And as you continue walking this sacred path of remembering, something subtle begins to change within you. It is not loud. It is not dramatic. It is a quiet rearranging of your inner architecture. The walls built from doubt begin to soften. The ceilings constructed from limitation begin to lift. You start to notice that the weight you once carried so tightly in your chest is no longer as heavy. This is the evidence of alignment. This is the gentle unfolding of your higher awareness. You begin to understand that manifestation is less about acquiring and more about allowing. It is not about reaching outward with grasping hands. It is about opening inward with a receptive heart. When you are in a state of allowing, you are no longer negotiating with life. You are no longer saying, I will be happy when. You are declaring, I choose to be fulfilled now. And from that fulfillment, experiences begin to organize themselves around you in astonishing ways. The mind that has been conditioned by fear will attempt to pull you back into old patterns. It will ask, what if it doesn't happen? What if I am disappointed again? But notice that these questions arise from a place that assumes separation. They assume that you are a solitary figure trying to convince an indifferent universe to respond. Yet there is no separation. The same invisible intelligence that causes a flower to bloom at precisely the right moment is guiding the unfolding of your life. Consider how a flower does not force its petals open. It does not strain against the soil in panic. It responds to light. It responds to warmth. It responds to nourishment. And when the conditions are harmonious, it blossoms naturally. In the same way, your life opens in response to the inner light you cultivate. When your thoughts are illuminated by trust, when your emotions are warmed by appreciation, when your actions are rooted in love, your reality blossoms without strain. You are learning to trust this rhythm. You are learning that the pauses are not emptiness, but incubation. Silence is not absence, it is gestation. There are movements happening in dimensions you cannot see, conversations forming, opportunities aligning, hearts softening, pathways clearing. The unseen does not mean the inactive. It means that the orchestration is beyond the narrow lens of your immediate perception. And so, instead of demanding proof, you practice presence. Presence is the gateway to power. When you are fully here, fully aware of this breath, this heartbeat, this moment, you dissolve the anxiety that lives in imagined futures. You release the regret anchored in faded memories. You step into the only place where creation actually occurs, now. The ego thrives on postponement. It tells you fulfillment is somewhere ahead, just beyond the next achievement. But the soul recognizes that the essence of what you seek is already available in this instant. If you desire love, become loving. If you desire abundance, cultivate generosity. If you desire peace, choose forgiveness. By embodying the qualities you long to receive, you harmonize with their frequency. And harmony is magnetic. There is a profound humility that arises when you realize you are both the sculptor and the clay. You are shaping your life through your inner state, and at the same time, life is shaping you through its experiences. This mutual dance is sacred. Nothing is wasted. Even your missteps have served as teachers. Even your detours have redirected you toward greater authenticity. You may begin to feel a sense of detachment, not indifference, but freedom. A freedom from the compulsion to control outcomes. A freedom from the need to explain yourself to those who do not understand your vision. A freedom from measuring your progress against someone else's timeline. This detachment is not coldness, it is clarity. It is the recognition that your worth is inherent and not dependent on external validation. As you stand in this clarity, your energy shifts. And energy speaks louder than words. People will feel something different in your presence. Opportunities will feel drawn to your steadiness. Circumstances that once seemed rigid will begin to soften. This is not magic in the theatrical sense. It is resonance. You are tuning yourself to a frequency that supports expansion rather than contraction. There is also a deep compassion that awakens within you. When you release the illusion of scarcity, you no longer see others as obstacles or competitors. You see them as fellow travelers, each navigating their own lessons. You begin to celebrate their successes, knowing that the universe is not a limited pie to be divided, but an infinite field of potential. When someone else rises, it does not diminish you. It confirms what is possible. And perhaps most beautifully, you start to feel guided, not in a way that removes your responsibility, but in a way that reassures you that you are not navigating alone. There are intuitive nudges, subtle impulses, sudden insights that seem to arise from nowhere. These are not random. They are whispers from the deeper intelligence within you. When you follow them with trust, doors open that logic alone could never have predicted. Let your life become a dialogue between intention and surrender. Set your vision clearly, feel it, believe it, and then release your grip on the form it must take. Sometimes what arrives will look different from what you imagined, yet it will carry the essence of your desire in a more refined way. The soul is interested in growth, not mere gratification. It will guide you toward experiences that expand your awareness, even if they stretch you first. Stretching is not a sign of misalignment. It is often the signal that you are stepping into a larger version of yourself. Do not shrink to remain comfortable. Expansion can feel unfamiliar, but unfamiliar does not mean unsafe. It means new. And new is the birthplace of transformation. As you continue this inner evolution, remember that patience is an act of faith. It is the calm assurance that the timing of your life is precise. Nothing is late, nothing is early. The seasons do not rush. The dawn does not apologize for arriving gradually. Trust the pace of your unfolding. There will be moments when old fears attempt to resurface. When they do, greet them gently. Do not fight them. Do not judge yourself for experiencing them. Simply observe them as passing clouds in the vast sky of your awareness. You are the sky, not the clouds. The sky remains untouched by the storms that move through it. This realization brings immense freedom. You no longer define yourself by transient emotions or temporary circumstances. You recognize that beneath every fluctuation lies an unchanging essence. That essence is whole. That essence is powerful. That essence is deeply connected to the source of all creation. And from this place of remembrance, your manifestations begin to feel less like goals and more like natural extensions of who you are becoming. You are not chasing a future. You are revealing a truth. You are allowing the invisible blueprint of your highest self to take tangible form. Let your heart remain open. Let your mind remain receptive. Let your spirit remain anchored in love. Continue choosing thoughts that uplift, actions that align, words that heal. Every choice is a brushstroke on the canvas of your experience. The confirmation you sought is not a flashing sign in the sky. It is this steady knowing rising within you. It is this calm certainty that you are supported, guided, and capable of co-creating a life that reflects your deepest values. Trust that knowing. Nourish it. Live from it. And as you move forward from here, carry yourself as one who understands their divine inheritance. Walk gently, but confidently. Speak truthfully, but compassionately. Dream boldly, but peacefully. For you are not separate from the power that spins galaxies into motion. You are an expression of it. And as you continue to align with that truth, you will witness realities unfold that once felt impossible, now revealed as inevitable. And in this inevitability, something within you relaxes completely. Not because you have all the answers, but because you no longer need them. There is a sacred maturity in that surrender. A recognition that the mind does not have to map every mile of the journey for the soul to arrive exactly where it is meant to be. You begin to feel carried not in passivity, but in partnership with a force that has always been guiding you. You sense it in the quiet moments when the world is still and your breath becomes your only companion. There is a presence there, a loving awareness that asks nothing of you except authenticity. It does not demand perfection. It does not keep score. It simply invites you to remember who you are beyond the roles, beyond the expectations, beyond the stories you have outgrown. You are not here to prove your value. You are here to express it. The old identity, the one built on approval and achievement, begins to dissolve like mist in the morning sun. And what remains is simpler, truer, more luminous. You begin to move through your days less as a seeker and more as a vessel for kindness, a vessel for clarity, a vessel for the creative energy that longs to move through you in unique and beautiful ways. Notice how different life feels when you are no longer trying to extract something from it, when you are no longer bargaining with existence. Instead, you become curious, you become receptive. You ask not, what can I get, but what can flow through me today? This subtle shift transforms everything, because the moment you stop grasping, you start receiving. There is a rhythm to divine timing that cannot be rushed. Just as the tide knows when to rise and when to retreat, your life has its own sacred cadence. When something pauses, it is not punishment. It is recalibration. When something falls away, it is not loss. It is refinement. The universe is not subtracting from you. It is clearing space for what resonates more deeply with your expanded self. And you have expanded. Even now, as these words settle into you, there is growth taking place. The awareness that you are both human and infinite at once is not an abstract idea. It is an awakening. You begin to treat yourself with more tenderness. You begin to speak to yourself with more reverence. You begin to recognize that the divine is not distant. It is expressed in your laughter, in your compassion, in your courage to keep believing. You will still encounter contrast. You will still navigate challenges, but they no longer define you. They refine you. They are not obstacles in your path. They are stepping stones in your evolution. Each experience invites you to respond from your higher nature rather than react from old conditioning. And each time you choose consciously, you strengthen the bridge between intention and manifestation. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast horizon. The sky stretches endlessly before you. The colors shift with subtle brilliance. And you realize that there are no walls, no ceilings, only openness. That horizon is not outside you. It is within you. It is the limitless field of possibility that has always existed beneath the surface of your doubts. You were never meant to live confined by fear. Fear is a teacher, yes, but not a master. It arises to point you toward greater awareness, not to imprison you. When you meet fear with understanding instead of resistance, it loses its grip. It dissolves into insight. And what remains is courage, not the absence of uncertainty, but the willingness to move forward with faith. Faith is not blind belief. It is inner knowing. It is the calm conviction that there is an order unfolding, even when you cannot yet see its design. It is trusting that the same intelligence that beats your heart is guiding your desires toward fulfillment in ways that honor your highest good. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked by some distant force deciding who is worthy of blessings. You are woven into the very fabric of creation. Your existence is evidence of intention. Your dreams are extensions of that intention-seeking expression through you. So walk gently into your becoming. Release the urge to rush. Let gratitude become your default posture, not because everything is perfect, but because everything is purposeful. Every breath is a gift. Every connection is sacred. Every moment carries the potential for awakening. Allow your life to be a demonstration of inner alignment. Let your calm presence become the confirmation others seek. Let your compassion become a reminder that love is the highest frequency available to us. And as you continue choosing thoughts that uplift and actions that harmonize with your true nature, you will notice that what once felt distant now feels natural. What once felt like a dream now feels like destiny. There is no dramatic finish to this unfolding, no final trumpet announcing your arrival. Instead, there is a steady deepening, a quiet radiance, a sense that you are exactly where you need to be, becoming exactly who you were meant to become. And as you close this moment, carry with you this simple, unshakable truth. You are aligned with a power that is immeasurable. You are guided by a wisdom that is timeless. You are sustained by a love that is unconditional. The confirmation you were waiting for was never outside you. It is this resonance in your heart, this stillness in your breath, this clarity in your awareness. Trust it, live from it, and watch with serene confidence as the life you have been envisioning unfolds not as a distant miracle, but as the most natural expression of who you have always been. Close your eyes for a moment and breathe. Not the shallow breath of urgency, not the hurried breath of someone chasing approval, but the slow, eternal breath of the ocean, the same breath that moved through you when you were a child, before the world told you who you were supposed to be. You began with a spark, before there were distractions, before there were deadlines, before there was comparison, before there was doubt. There was only intention. And intention is not a wish. It is not ambition. It is not force. Intention is the invisible field of energy that creates worlds. It is the silent ocean beneath every wave. And when you started your journey, whatever that journey may be, it was not the ego that moved you. It was that field. It was that ocean. It was something within you that whispered, "This is who you are." But somewhere along the way, the noise grew louder than the whisper. Distraction is not merely losing focus. Distraction is forgetting your essence. The ego loves distraction. The ego thrives on comparison. It feeds on urgency, on competition, on the illusion that there is not enough time, not enough success, not enough recognition to go around. It tells you that your worth is determined by applause. It insists that your pace must match the pace of others. It convinces you that your journey is a race, and so you begin to look sideways instead of inward. You forget why you started. When you first began, it was not about being better than anyone. It was not about proving anything. It was not about winning. It was about alignment. It was about joy. It was about the quiet thrill of expressing what your soul already knew. The ego says, "Look at them." The soul says, "Look within." The ego says, "Hurry." The soul says, "Trust." The ego says, "You are behind." The soul says, "You are exactly where you need to be." You see, distraction pulls you into time. Intention anchors you in eternity. Think of the sky. Clouds pass through it constantly. Storms gather, winds howl, lightning flashes. But the sky itself is untouched. It does not chase the clouds. It does not argue with the storm. It does not identify as the thunder. You are the sky. Your thoughts are the clouds. Your fears are the storms. Your distractions are the winds. But the essence of who you are, the divine spark, the eternal consciousness, remains vast, spacious, untouched. When you become distracted, you mistake the clouds for yourself. You believe the storm is your identity. You cling to the winds as though they define you. And in that moment, you forget your infinite nature. Remember why you started. You started because something inside you could not remain silent. Something inside you knew there was more. Not more money, not more validation, more aliveness, more authenticity, more alignment with the energy that created you. You started because you felt called. And calling does not come from ego. It comes from source. Imagine holding an orange in your hand. If you squeeze it, what comes out? Orange juice. Why? Because that is what is inside. If you are squeezed by criticism and anger comes out, it is because anger was inside. If you are squeezed by delay and doubt comes out, it is because doubt was inside. Distraction is the squeeze. Life will squeeze you. People will question you. Results will take longer than you expected. Plans will unravel. But what comes out of you reveals what is within you. This is not a moment for shame. This is a moment for awareness. What is inside you? If you began with passion and now you feel resentment, ask yourself, when did you allow comparison to enter? When did you allow fear to replace faith? When did you trade inspiration for validation? The ego distracts you with numbers, timelines, and opinions. The soul invites you back to intention. Intention is not about achieving something in the future. It is about embodying something now. If you started to serve, then serve now. If you started to create, then create now. If you started to heal, then heal now. Do not wait for the outcome to justify the process. The ocean does not ask permission to wave. The sun does not compete to shine. The flower does not rush to bloom. It unfolds because that is its nature. And you are not here to prove your worth. You are here to express your nature. When you become distracted, you are not failing, you are forgetting. And forgetting is human, but remembering is divine. Remember the moment you said, I will begin. There was courage in that moment. There was innocence in that moment. There was trust in that moment. You did not know how it would unfold. You only knew that you could not ignore the inner voice any longer. That voice has not disappeared. It has only been drowned out by noise. So be still. Stillness is not laziness. It is power. It is alignment. It is the space where intention speaks again. Ask yourself, if no one were watching, would I still do this? If no one were applauding, would I still feel called? If there were no comparison, no competition, no timeline, would I still begin? If the answer is yes, then you are not lost. You are simply distracted. And distraction is cured not by force, but by remembrance. You are not your productivity. You are not your metrics. You are not your reputation. You are not your setbacks. You are consciousness experiencing creation. The ego says, what will I get? The soul says, what will I give? When you shift from getting to giving, distraction dissolves. Because giving is timeless. Giving is infinite. Giving is aligned with the very nature of the universe. The universe does not withhold the sunrise. It does not ration the air. It does not compete for space. It expands endlessly. It gives endlessly. And you are made of that same expanding energy. So when you feel scattered, return to expansion. When you feel behind, return to presence. When you feel doubt, return to intention. Remember why you started. Perhaps you started because you wanted freedom. But freedom is not found in outcomes. It is found in detachment. It is found in releasing the need to control how, when, and by whom you are recognized. The ego demands recognition. The soul seeks expression. There is a profound difference. Expression is enough. It is complete in itself. When a child paints, the joy is in the painting, not in the praise. When you began, you were that child. What happened? You began to look for applause. You began to measure. You began to compare. And comparison is the thief of intention. You do not have to be the best. You only have to be aligned. Alignment feels like peace. Alignment feels like clarity. Alignment feels like quiet confidence. It does not shout. It does not rush. It does not panic. It simply knows. The soul always knows. And when you reconnect to that knowing, distraction loses its power. Imagine standing at the edge of the ocean. Waves crash, winds blow, voices call out behind you. But when you step into the water, when you dive beneath the surface, there is silence, there is depth, there is stillness. That stillness is within you. You do not need to escape your life to find it. You only need to release your identification with the noise. You are not here to be busy. You are here to be conscious. When you act from consciousness, every step is meaningful. When you act from ego, every step feels urgent. Ask yourself gently, am I moving from fear or from love? Fear distracts. Love directs. Fear says, what if I fail? Love says, what if I serve? Fear says, what if I'm not enough? Love says, I am already whole. You began because you felt love. Love for your craft, love for your growth, love for your vision. Return to that love. Say quietly to yourself, I am not in competition. I am in creation. I am not behind. I am unfolding. I am not lost. I am remembering. The moment you remember, your energy shifts. And everything is energy. You cannot create abundance from a state of scarcity. You cannot create clarity from a state of chaos. You cannot create impact from a state of ego. Shift your inner state, and the outer world rearranges itself. This is not magic. This is law. When you align with intention, you attract synchronicity. When you release control, you experience flow. When you detach from outcome, you experience freedom. Stop being distracted by what does not align with your soul. Stop being distracted by opinions that do not resonate with your truth. Stop being distracted by timelines that were never yours to begin with. Your journey is not linear. It is spiral. You revisit lessons at deeper levels. You refine, you expand, you evolve. And sometimes you forget. But forgetting is not failure. It is part of the human experience. The invitation is always to return. Return to presence. Return to purpose. Return to peace. Remember why you started. You started because something within you refused to stay asleep, and that something is still awake. Let the ego tire itself out. Let comparison fade. Let urgency soften. Stand in your beingness. You are not the wave fighting for space. You are the ocean itself. You are not the cloud seeking attention. You are the sky that holds it all. You are not the squeezed orange reacting to pressure. You are the consciousness choosing what to contain. Choose faith. Choose alignment. Choose to remember. And as you remember, you will feel a quiet fire reignite within you, not the frantic fire of proving, but the steady flame of purpose. That flame does not flicker in the wind of distraction. It burns from within. And when you live from that flame, you do not need motivation. You become it. You do not chase inspiration. You embody it. You do not seek validation. You radiate certainty. This is your awakening, not a dramatic moment, not a sudden explosion, but a gentle return to truth. Stop being distracted. Remember why you started and begin again, not from ego, not from fear, not from scarcity, but from intention, from love, from the infinite, unshakable, knowing that you are already whole, already guided, already connected to the same intelligence that spins galaxies and beats your heart. Be still. Listen. Remember. And move forward, not because you must prove something, but because it is your nature to express the divine energy that you are. That is why you started, and that is why you will continue. And as you continue forward now, feel the difference in your energy. Notice how the frantic pulse begins to slow. Notice how the desperate need to get somewhere softens into the quiet realization that you are already here. This is the great illusion the ego casts upon the mind, that fulfillment is always somewhere else, that peace will arrive when something external aligns, that satisfaction waits at the finish line. But there is no finish line. There is only this breath. There is only this step. There is only this eternal unfolding of consciousness through you. When you first began, you were not chasing a finish line. You were responding to an inner nudge. It was subtle, almost sacred. It felt less like ambition and more like recognition, as if your soul whispered, "This is the direction of your expansion," and you trusted it. Now ask yourself gently, when did you stop trusting? Was it when someone doubted you? Was it when progress slowed? Was it when the applause didn't match your effort? The ego is clever. It waits for a moment of vulnerability and then plants a seed. Maybe you were wrong. Maybe you're not cut out for this. Maybe you should choose something safer. But the soul does not speak in maybes. The soul speaks in knowing. It does not argue. It does not justify. It simply remains steady, like the North Star in a cloudy sky. You may not always see it, but it is always there, guiding quietly. Distraction is the cloud cover. Remembrance is the clearing. There is a powerful truth that few people are willing to confront. The distractions in your life are not random. They are invitations. They reveal where you are still seeking approval, where you are still attached to outcome, where you are still operating from scarcity. Scarcity says, if I don't move faster, I'll lose my chance. Scarcity says, if someone else succeeds, there's less for me. Scarcity says, if this doesn't work soon, it means I failed. But abundance whispers something radically different. Abundance says, what is meant for me cannot miss me. Abundance says, there is no competition in divine expression. Abundance says, I trust the timing of my life. Everything is energy, and the energy of scarcity constricts. It tightens the chest. It narrows perception. It amplifies comparison. It makes you scroll, search, analyze, and obsess. It keeps you in motion but not in alignment. Abundance expands. It breathes. It creates from inspiration rather than desperation. You cannot create something sacred from a frantic state. You cannot hear the guidance of your soul while constantly consuming the noise of the world. This is why stillness is not optional, it is essential. Imagine a lake disturbed by constant wind. Its surface is chaotic, fragmented, distorted. It cannot reflect the sky clearly. But when the wind calms, the surface becomes mirror-like. The sky is reflected perfectly. Your mind is that lake. Distraction is the wind. When you are constantly reacting to notifications, to opinions, to metrics, to other people's timelines, your inner lake never settles. And without stillness, you lose reflection. You lose clarity. You lose the ability to see your own divinity. You started because you felt called to reflect something beautiful into this world. A vision, a service, a truth. But you cannot reflect clearly from a disturbed surface. So the invitation is not to push harder, it is to quiet deeper. The ego believes that success requires strain, but the universe operates through harmony. Look at nature. The tree does not strain to grow. It does not wake up anxious about how tall it should be by next week. It simply reaches toward the light, steadily, faithfully, season after season. You are no different. You are not here to force growth. You are here to allow it. And allowing requires trust. Trust is not passive. Trust is active alignment with the unseen. It is the willingness to move forward without needing constant reassurance. It is the courage to continue even when results are invisible. Remember why you started. You did not start because it was guaranteed. You started because it felt true. Truth does not require validation. Truth does not panic when unseen. Truth remains. If you are feeling weary, it is not because your path is wrong. It is because you have been trying to carry it with your ego instead of your spirit. The ego exhausts itself trying to control every variable. The spirit rests in knowing that it is co-creating with something infinitely intelligent. When you surrender control, you do not lose power. You regain it. Surrender is not giving up. It is giving over to the wisdom that beats your heart without your permission, that breathes your lungs without your instruction, that orchestrates the rising of the sun without your involvement. That same intelligence flows through your vision. You are not alone in this. You never were. The moment you align with intention again, you feel it, a subtle shift, like stepping onto solid ground after drifting at sea. The anxiety lessens, the comparison quiets, the urgency dissolves. There is a renewed sense of clarity, not because everything is solved, but because you are centered. Center is everything. From center, you act without force. From center, you create without fear. From center, you move without distraction. And when distractions appear, as they inevitably will, you no longer identify with them, you observe them. You smile at them. You say, there is the ego again, asking me to hurry, asking me to compare, asking me to doubt. And then you return. Return to breath. Return to intention. Return to the quiet flame inside you. The world will always offer noise. That is its nature. But you are not obligated to consume it. You are not obligated to react to it. You are not obligated to internalize it. You are here to embody something higher. Say to yourself now with conviction and calm, I am not here to compete. I am here to contribute. Feel how different that feels in your body. Contribution is expansive. Competition is constricting. Contribution aligns you with service. Competition traps